history of Dota. I'll say that right now. This hero can farm anytime now. What do you think of the current Nyx in this meta?
I think the hero's really good. I think he's significantly underpicked in this tournament. He makes a lot of sense as a counterpick to Ench, of course, which is why they ran it. But I believe the win rate of it that we saw was quite good, but the number of games was very low. I suppose the main problem teams are facing is if you don't pick this into specifically Ench or Chen, maybe your laning is just too weak and compensating for it gets too hard. But that said, I still think it's reliable a lot of the time, and especially we're seeing the rise of Invoker, right? This hero was not played particularly much in the first few days of the tournament. Now he's starting to really see play. Sunstrike plus Nyx can kill any hero on the map.
Yeah.
It's even better than it used to be because Nyx now, as a support, reliably goes Dagon and does a lot more damage with Mind Flayer. So if you remember back in the day what kills you could find with Nyx Invoker, you can almost add 50% to the health of heroes you can kill. So I don't know, perhaps that's the strategy we'll see teams run later on if they can get the laning to work.
Yeah, that's always been his issue, is the laning. But you just don't lane now. You just go jungle. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, why is Pudge not being played in this meta? My goodness. What a great hero.
Waiting for Boxy to run his signature I'm leaving lane minute 2 and going jungle play.
That was epic.
They crushed that game.
Indeed.
It's
Well, GPK. He's in the cover of his Ghost Walk right now. Might be going through the gate, but he's going to run into Fly. Or is it the other way around? Yuma on the trees as well. The EMP already being shown, as Fly will likely just be sacrificed. He actually dies to a neutral creep, and instead all the damage being applied to Mr. Nightfall. He's getting all this regen, but it's not enough. He will drop. Unfortunately for Nouns, though, I think they're going to lose both cores in Yuma and Gunnar in the process. So they lose 3 heroes, although again, 1 denied by neutrals.
Yeah, this was, the panel didn't talk about this, but a really big upside to Stampede is that you, as Chen, you can just Stampede right into the neutral camp and die. That apparently was important there. Oh, he just narrowly dodges every spell there on Lelis.
Very nice.
But yeah, good defensive play there from BB Team, really covering up their Alchemist in this safe lane. Which is going to be necessary. This is a textbook Nouns play.
Lelis.
Well, he dodged every spell and then he walked back into them. Oh well.
Yeah, well, he wasn't expecting Banana Boat Team to come back into the triangle area, so they stuck around.
Yep. It's yeah, I was gonna say Nouns. I think one of the things they did really well against Gaming Gladiators in the game that they won in that series was rotating from the safe lane through the gate. And I think BB Team have prepared for this. They've studied the movements that Nouns like to go for, and they were exceptionally ready for that rotation. They were already in position when Chen came through, as you said, and they were the ones to make the first move instead. Now that's probably not going to stop.
10-minute rune.
Okay.
Looks like it'll be top as the haste is bottled by Copy. Tornado already used from GPK, so he won't have a way to actually dispel this haste if they want to try to run at him, but that's a tall order at this point of the game. Looks like he's going for the Witchblade on the Invoker, while Gunnar Blade Mail this time around, which a lot of time we've been seeing, we've talked about this before, but the Blade Mail against heroes with the uncontrollable outburst of damage, such as Windrunner.
Yep.
Not really here, unless you want to count Enchantress late game, I guess.
Something we haven't really talked about that item is it's also a farming item on Centaur, right? It's true. Yeah. You farm faster, you get bigger throughout the game. It adds some utility in certain situations in team fights. It makes you a less appealing target in general. But I would agree, this is not the best game for it that we've seen. But it just goes to show, I think every game of Centaur we've cast this tournament, the player has got Blade Mail. So maybe it's just that good that the circumstances don't even really matter. And you just do grab this first, and then you have the 2 build paths with either being a mega tank with auras, or you get the dagger, or both, of course, if you're having a good enough game. And yeah, Gunnar is doing all right. This is a very even game for all intents and purposes, especially considering the Dire started with 4 bounty runes. They haven't really converted that to
right
more.
into the center if it comes to the low ground.
That's very close to being spotted. Not quite.
Right on the outskirts.
And Chen is doing Chen things, pushing this tower. Trying to force rotation, but BB Team are not overreacting.
I mean, for a Nyx assassin this game, who's your... I mean, obviously you're going to need assistance from your team to get a kill, but who can you kill at this stage of the game with a Vendetta +1?
I think Nyx plus Monkey King can absolutely kill the Coddle and the Ench, I think. Should be possible kills. The rest, probably a little bit too tanky and too much counterplay.
Yeah.
I guess with Alchemist, it's also a little bit down to luck with his Talisman of Evasion. As that gets turned into a Radiance, it gets a bit more reliable. But, oh, Gunnar is going to poke Psyche up here. Just actually will bait out the Chemical Rage. I don't know if they're going to use that for anything. Oh, Miro.
Oh, copy is going to be found. Primal split, the Hand of God to keep him a little bit safer. He's going to try to fight this through. The Stampede is going to follow through, though. And now the cover of Fly is there, and they're going to turn everything on the Miero instead. So a nice turnaround for Nouns. You can see Yuma looking for additional kills here. GPK will just casually walk away. That's now a Maelstrom for Yuma.
Yeah, this is a funny dynamic, the Chen versus Invoker. Because they kind of offset each other, right? They were expecting that Sunstrike to be enough to get that kill, but then Hand of God heals basically the exact amount that the Sunstrike does. And then you're back to square one with, could Beastmaster have soloed that Razor? Clearly not. There was even an Illuminate over top, but it's level 1, so.
Yeah. And now the stacking. I mean, this should be very obvious that this is going to happen at some point in the game.
Yeah.
And we'll see if Nouns do anything about it. The problem is they need several heroes to deal with that. And meanwhile, Gunnar is going to be ganked. By
trouble. No Stampede.
Yeah, Concoction is coming for him as well. This is going to be a very easy cleanup for the battle bots.
There is that kid. There we go. All right, GPK don't miss twice.
Well, meanwhile, Yuma, he does actually disrupt this Ancient stack a bit. Uses his Wukong's command. Not going to lead to an initial kill. Not sure how many creeps they ended up stealing.
He's fast.
Yep.
He's got that Vendetta facet.
Can go through terrain.
Save.
Just going for the kill.
Oh, faking out twice.
Mind Flare wasn't enough, but hey, if you can get your Monkey King a kill at this stage and maybe the 14-minute Wisdom as well, it looks like it'll be a trade though.
Yeah.
They're scanning it out just to double check.
I wonder what the ratio is in the games in this tournament between the 14-minute Wisdoms. How many you've taken on your side and how many on the other. I feel like the 7-minute ones, the teams get their own. And anecdotally, I would say on the 14-minute one, there's more trades on the opposite side than you being on your own side.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a natural part of the movement out on the map with your first aggressive moves that you're likely to play around the other side, but it's kind of interesting to see that that's been a development, because this didn't used to be the case a month ago.
Yeah, and Wisdom Runes have been extremely powerful, especially the first two, for many months now.
Yep.
So it is interesting to see kind of a late development to this during TI. As Blink getting pretty close for Gunnar. As you can see, Miero has his Aghanim Scepter now, so the Drums of Slom online.
Very fitting for a BB Team Beastmaster to get the Bongo Bongo Ags. Makes a lot of sense.
They are Beastmaster believers.
True that. One of the teams that play it the most, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's been a pretty strong hero. I feel like it must have a good win rate at this tournament. As you can see, Nightfall with the Radiance, and going to be going for the Manta into eventual AC. So not opting for a Blink, it seems, at least not yet. Do you think that's something that is going to be for the Beastmaster? Looks like that will be, actually.
Well, he is queuing one up on Alk.
50% win rate. That's actually surprising. It feels like it's been better.
I think getting Dagger on both heroes actually makes a ton of sense this game. You could argue that you could bypass one of them because you have a Quaswex Invoker, but the nature of these fights is going to be extremely explosive, so if you're the one who can...
Ouch!
Well, that'll do.
It'll happen from time to time. Of course, you're forcing so many sentries to be built. That's what you tell your team in the pubs as Nyx Assassin.
This is a second death in 16 minutes.
That's he's doing fine.
Completely
absolutely
fine for Nyx.
And I think this facet that they take these days, where you can walk through terrain for the first 10 or so seconds, has been enormous for the hero.
Yeah,
now
because
you can come in from weird angles.
Not only that, but because it gives you flat move speed, right? It just sets your move speed to haste. Nyx can choose not to buy boots, which is what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
So Lelis is going 2 nulls into straight Dagon.
Looks like Nouns want to try to contest this. They're going to Boundless Strike onto the Beastmaster. The Impale to follow. He's dead. Down goes Miero as Save is being chased by Copy, showing that newly minted BKB. Nightfall does get off the concoction, though, as Lelis should be able to finish this himself, just with a casual right-click from the Vendetta. Nice job from Nouns, capitalizing on the attempted Roche take, it looked like, from beyond Burger King.
Yeah, and they're going to steal it, too.
Yeah.
So... This is the biggest play of the game here. T was talking about on the panel how Nouns, yeah, you can give up the first Roche, but you absolutely need the second one. How about you just steal the first one?
Yeah,
that sounds good to me.
Easy peasy. Gleipnir online for the Monkey King as well, as Copy's going to show himself mid. Get tornadoed for his troubles. And BB team now kind of on the defensive, it seems. Despite having this very aggressive lineup, I mean, just looking at it.
Yep.
You got the Beastmaster, Enchantress, Activator of the Caudal, obviously Invoker. Depends on how you build it, but then Alk, kind of a hero that wants to farm at the early stage, but then ramps up really fast. So we have a TP in from Miero.
Nice reaction.
Quick blink from Gunnar.
Yeah.
Just how might get denied.
The thing is, if you look at BB teams, the way this team approaches fights, you're saying it's aggressive, and it comes from the nature of, okay, Beastmaster's going to find a flank with a Roar, or Invoker's going to come out of Ghostwalk and start the fights, but something that Nouns have really accomplished with their draft is they're making it difficult to find skirmishes on your terms. You're always paranoid about an invisible Nyx. There's always Monkey King that can be sitting in the trees. Chen's creeps are constantly pushing out waves at like low risk and high reward. So while it is an aggressive lineup, the way this usually works is that you take over a part of the map and then you constrict the enemy team. But they haven't been able to do it. They've taken one tower, minute 18. So I think that doesn't really fit the bill for what this lineup was hoping to do at this point. I think if I'm Nouns, I'm pretty satisfied with still having 2 tier 1s up at this point. And if they can keep defending them a little bit longer, they're starting to approach some really nice timings. Now Yuma's going to get his Shard plus Gleipnir completed on the Monkey King. Centaur is halfway to the pipe. And Chen's Greaves.
Spike Carapace can always stun Nightfall because of the Radiance.
Yeah.
Did not opt to use it there. Would have been a tough kill either way, as we're going to see the Tornado.
Nice damage onto Copy.
Into the Chaos Meteor. Not enough for a kill as Lelis.
Want to dive though, they see Lelis.
He is spotted. That's a very tanky Invoker right now, and Lelis slowed to a crawl thanks to the Solar Bind. Yuma's coming in with the Gleipnir, has his Wukong's command, a beautiful Boundless Strike onto 2 as well. They get 1. It looks like they'll get the second support as well, although the force staff to the other side, the Ice Wall, slowing them as well. As Miero actually in no man's land, focusing everything on this Monkey King. Now GPK and Nightfall are there to assist. The Aegis is down. Concoction hits 2. See, axes will continue to be thrown out. Yuma with the Shard already, it seems. We'll go to the end of the Boundless Strike to disengage completely. So in the end, it's an Aegis for 2 supports.
Oh, is it over though? Lelis is scouting. I mean, his teammates are relatively far away. I guess they don't really have anyone who can smoke up and connect on this, but Lelis still hounding him. Seems like he has some sort of plan, but that kill isn't really possible.
No.
All right, he's literally just scouting. Nobody cares.
He has a Dagon, but yeah, these 2 targets are without a +1. It's not happening.
So Lelis with a very interesting inventory right now. 2
He's on a sentry. Tornadoed up, and they dust just for good measure. Lelis heals up a bit with the Dagon, but it's not happening. BB team all over that.
Also fortunate enough on him to find Whisper of the Dread, which is easily the best neutral item you can possibly get on Nyx. Getting the extra mana pool, but of course the 8% spell damage amp is incredible on this hero. See if it makes a difference. But yeah, BB team, they stabilize once again. And as with most Alchemist games, this is going to become a matter of, do you hit your stride in the next 10 minutes when Alk is, in theory, generally peaking over enemy cores? Because I don't think this is a game where Alk ultra late. This hero has become better, for sure. It used to be very polarizing. It's like either you win by minute 40 or you lose most of the time. Now that Alk scales better, I still think his core matchups in this game are really rough. Razor is tough. Monkey King is a very rough one later on. And as you mentioned, Spike Carapace is actually a really big problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the, like, back in the day before, I got to hold that thought. Tormentor will be taken out. I don't think Nouns are going to want to stick around here. Fly will get the Shard, although Saika, Mr. Nightfall, will jump in and they get 2 kills. BB team ready for that, as Copy's going to have to BKB and run away. That is really unfortunate for Nouns, and now a little bit of momentum for Bowling Ball team.
Yeah, that's a good hit. Sure, they do get the Tormentor themselves. That would have been even better if BB were 10 seconds earlier, but still, I think they're very happy with this. They're going to convert into Tier 2, and this is what I was looking for from their team. I was saying 3 minutes ago that they'd only taken 1 tower. Well, guess what? If you take a tower per minute now, you'll catch up pretty quickly.
Yep.
They've got 4 down now.
Yeah, momentum definitely on BB Team's side. Of course, 3K lead with an Alchemist. Who knows what that means these days?
True.
And Nouns definitely still in the game. And yeah, back to that Nyx conversation. I mean, back in the day, Synderen, Nyx was basically picked as a counter to Radiance heroes to force them to buy something else, or Batrider. That was like his identity. That's it.
And Ember.
Yeah, true. Ember was also a good one. So with the Flame Guard.
And Puck. And Storm.
Several heroes. Quite good. Fly remembers this time.
He was actually
have
good
to
against
ponder
OD
in the grave.
as well. And sometimes you picked it against Lina too.
Okay. Keep going. Don't stop now.
But yeah.
Okay, gets the tornado off on the copy. Cold snap into the ice wall. Man, he just cannot go anywhere.
All right, the pace is really picking up now. This is when Nouns need to keep their calm and find some sort of move as a team. Otherwise, BB is going to keep doing this to them. Because now that BB team are owning 2/3 of the map, this is the true challenge that I think Nouns did a really good job delaying until this point, but now it's coming for them. So what are you going to do? Are you going to take the fight head on? Are you going to try to find some sort of skirmishes with Nyx plus Monkey King where you hope that they spread out at some point and you find the straggler? Maybe Alchemist is farming alone, which is the case right now with Psyche farming Ancients. That would have been an awesome time to strike with those two in a smoke. I think those are the two basic options, is doing a little ganking squad with the two of them or looking for a full-on team fight. And it looks like team fight is the name of the game here. At least they're going to smoke up 4 of them, and Razor's about to spawn.
Well, BB Team will be getting a shard to their name. It'll be Save. By the way, we didn't even mention, he did go for the Solar Bind facet. Yep. The last game, he did go for Recall, but that was
specifically with Storm.
Yeah, Storm Spirit specialty.
With Storm. I don't think he will do it under any other circumstances, actually. I think it's specifically only with that hero that Save will choose that facet. So, and Solar Bind is a really good ability. The magic resistance reduction has nice synergy with Beastmaster as well as Invoker, so he's offering a lot of burst together for them. Even Alchemist benefits slightly from it with the Radiance, but... Speaking of Radiance, has any other hero this tournament bought that item than Elk?
Ooh,
I don't think I've seen it. So this item has really fallen out of favor. You go back a year, we had like 10 different heroes.
They spot Lelis again.
Yeah.
He gets off the Spike Carapace, but it's only a matter of time before he's brought down, and we hear a roar go off, and that's a dead Centaur.
Oh yeah, we've had Brewmaster by Radiance.
Wow.
Yep,
Well, Basketball Team is going to try to go high ground now. They have 2 kills to their name. It's a 3v5. Can Nouns defend? They're going to use the fortification. As Psyche, Mr. Nightfall, with the alacrity is something to fear.
This is just a lane. This lineup pushes stupidly fast, and yeah, as
it's
we
timing
said,
with his AC as well.
Yep. Couldn't have done it any better. There's so little margin for error when you play against Alchemist Beastmaster. In these mid-game situations, either you win the team fight, you have buybacks, or you lose your base. And now BB Team can take a little bit of a chill. They can prepare for the next Roche if they want to. The early respawn is... Actually, that's the guaranteed respawn in 2 seconds, so... If they were to scout the top half right now, they are in a very dominant position to just get this Roche completely uncontested. They have awesome vision down the lane. Fly's doing his best to get some sort of control up here, but definitely not looking too great. It's together with Yuma. If Yuma gets caught here, they lose Roche. All right, they'll both TP out, so they're just conceding the area, which is effectively just giving BB a straight line to Roshan now.
Yeah, well... Yuma finally gets his BKB, so the position 1 and 2 for Nouns now have it. We'll see how much difference that's going to make at this stage, considering they've already lost Barracks at the 26-minute mark. Usually does not go well for a team that is occurring to, believe it or not, Synderen.
I believe it. Oh, this could be big, though.
Centaur going for an Aghanim Scepter. We'll have to talk about that in a moment.
Amplify damage rune for Yuma.
They need it.
They actually need this, I think. So
they're making their way over to the north side.
One of these trees is not like the other.
Well, he's not a tree, so...
Not anymore. He was a moment ago.
Okay.
You need to pay attention when I'm saying things.
Concoction, Nightfall. He's going to try to run into the smoke. Might be stunning himself. Mantas it off, actually. Good timing. GPK stuck on a high ground. He's going to get Gleipnired. There's the Wukong's command, but he gets force-staffed out of it.
On the command ends instantly.
And the Wukong's, yeah, he didn't take the other facets, so it's done.
Oh, boy.
And so is Fly.
Not
Just
good.
like that, it's a 5 versus 4. They're going to try to force this fight in the pit. A double impale into the double hoof stop with Lelis doing a ton of damage as well. Miero getting really low. Boundless strike into a double kill. BB team, they're going to use a buyback onto Mr. Nightfall. Yuma, oh boy. He's put inside the pit, and it looks like this will be the death of him. So BB team having to expend a buyback, but they still end up winning the fight in a way, and they'll secure second Roche.
Yeah, that's why they call them buyback team.
That's right.
They will get this Aegis onto Psychic. That was, honestly, that was a really good outcome for Nouns with how that started. I thought they were just going to get wiped. They threw Wukong's command out for nothing. Chen died first, so they're missing some of the auras in the fight as well. And then they still managed to get a really nice chaining of stuns.
Gunnar, don't die. We need to see the workhorse before the game is over. I beg of you.
He is
Gonna pop the pipe.
not
Low
looking too
to a
hot,
crawl. He's dead. What's that?
He's not looking too hot.
Yeah, it's not good.
Or maybe he is looking too
Oh boy, Beach Boys team is really on a roll in this game number 1. But hey, we talked about this early game, Cinderin. If there's any team that will throw away a gigantic lead, it's this team.
I need to see this one before I believe it.
Okay.
You know?
They're going to try to go high ground for Barracks number 2. This is the Breaking Barracks team now. They're going to put down the Roche banner and apply a lot of pressure here. Remember, Centaur still dead for 15 seconds. Gunnar does have buyback, but I think you just give this up surely. Although, they will use Fort on this. But they will still give it up, it seems.
Yeah, BB team have just really... It's been really impressive to watch in this game how a part of the game that I think both the panel as well as us thought was going to be the hardest one, Nouns did a relatively good job at handling, and then BB team just really kicked it up a notch completely. These last 10 minutes, they have just run the whole show. So the timing maybe came 4 or 5 minutes later than expected, but the ultimate result, unless Nouns can somehow pull a heroic comeback here, is going to be the same, which is just one more lane to go for those Megas. They still have the Aegis. BKB almost completed for Psycha. It's coming out now for the Invoker. So that's 2 new problems that Nouns have to face. And while they do have decent physical damage between the Razor and the Monkey King, I don't think it's going to be enough that they don't have to burn through their entire BKB durations themselves. And that's when Invoker is the king of the game. Yeah. This hero is, by many, considered to be the best hero in Dota, at least historically, when BKBs run out. Like, just the amount of control you have, you can completely dictate the fight with your arsenal of spells. And in a game like this, having max Wex for your Deafening Blast is amazing against 2 right-click cores. Ice Wall, of course, against chasing heroes, you name it. You know, they have the whole package. So Nouns, last-ditch effort coming up.
Yeah,
looking for a flank.
Into an Aegis, mind you. They're heading towards the south, trying to backstab. Save would be a pretty decent pickoff. They're going to run into Toronto Tokyo instead, and he's pretty damn hard to kill, not going to lie. Spike Carrier has already used. There's a Wukong's command. Nightfall just casually walks out of it. Lelis and Gunnar super low as the roar goes off onto the Razor, and this is just getting out of control in favor of BB team. Yuma, the BKB TP, will be successful, but the rest of his team are dropping like flies.
So will Fly.
No pun intended on that one for one.
And speaking of bugs, let's kill the last one. I guess Flies, you know.
Yeah, Lelis is dead to the hands of the Bumblebee team, and another buyback comes out, this time from Lelis, but I think the game just ends here, surely. For those mega creeps at the very least.
And they have to throw every buyback at them here. Centaur has to buyback too. They can't wait 15 seconds.
But the Aghanim Scepter, Cinderin, we need to see the workhorse.
We really don't.
The cart would change everything. They get the range racks. There's the initiation from Gunnar into the Gleipnir, but now Gunnar, it's just, he just melts, man. He just absolutely melts. Already with the beefy Centaur dead, this will be mega creeps for BB team. They can just casually do whatever they want now.
And
Oh, they actually, I think they broke the tree there, so Yuma stunned for an eternity as GG's called. BB team all over this game number 1.
Yeah, they continue their streak against Nouns. As was talked about on the panel, these teams did meet in the first group stage, which was honestly the most one-sided game of the entire tournament, was that very first game these two teams played when BB team beat them 24-1. Seems like they kind of just have their number a little bit. Nouns are still struggling, even though they've leveled up throughout this tournament. This matchup does not seem good for them.
No, it does not. Shiver, what do you think of this game number 1?
Well, I kind of think we hit the nail on the head here on the panel after the draft was done. We knew the onus was going to be on Nouns to perform and to hold off BB for as long as they could. And we mostly knew that in between minute 20 and 30, it was going to be extra difficult. And unfortunately for Nouns, they did not do it. They could not hold, and it's BB team that take game number 1, so they are 1 game away from moving forward in this lower bracket. Credit to them. I believe we would focus a lot on Nouns, Effie, I think, this post game, because I do feel it was their performance that caused the game to be like this.
Honestly, I want to give them credit for the way they played the first 20 minutes, because they got what they could, where they could. They even contested the first Roshan and got Aegis on their Monkey King, but it reached a point where Alchemist just finished farming. He wasn't done farming around the time that this first Rosh happened, right? But at some point, you just get that Manticide, you get that AC, you get that Blink, that Radiance on Alchemist. You get it much earlier than Monkey King, who at that point had a Gleipnir, but he didn't have his BKB yet. So the second BB started to group up and play for their own picks, run into Nouns' side of the map, run into that Tormentor area, there wasn't that much that Nouns could do to fight back. And then on top of that, when you layer in when Invoker gets the BKB, who stops him really? He's not going to be able to be locked down in the ring. The Centaur stun won't contest him, Nyx won't contest him. So they hit their mass on BB post minute 20 and they finished it pretty cleanly.
And I want to point out GPK. When this guy is on, he's really on. Didn't die a single time in this game, 9-0 and 8. His laning stage was perfect. The way this game started is they picked up 4 bounty runes, got that extra gold with the Alchemist, of course, so the laning stage is much better. You can bring extra regeneration to the side lanes, you can bring some extra stats for the Invoker in the mid lane, and I think this is going to be the fight where he pushes Monkey King out of Wukong's command with his Hurricane Pike, because Monkey King, they too tend to go for the other facet, and immediately he's out. So, this is the most damage that you're going to deal. With your Wukong, this is where you want to hit them with the Boundless, Gleipnir, maybe Nyx Assassin Stun. Just not enough. It looked like an okay fight, but BB team did use BB here, and I think 2 of those, and got into a fight that kind of secured the game with the second Roshan.
Yeah, you got to give it to Nouns as well. Like, the start of this game was because of Yuma's laning phase. Like, he doesn't go for the Jingu, he goes for Spring and Boundless. He keeps applying pressure to the Beastmaster, and often when we see like 12, 11-minute Agnums on Beast to open up for a very quick Roshan, because of Yuma and Fly's laning phase, it delayed the Beastmaster Agnums, and then it opened up for like a 15, 16-minute Roshan, therefore Copy with his BKB could take the fight. But, you know, fundamentally, when Nouns itemized to get that one fight, there wasn't a plan B in their lineup. Like, Nyx couldn't find any pickoffs because BB, 5-6 minutes later just grouped up the entire time. Chen falls off when the enemy team's running at you. And then, Centaur Razor, they didn't really bring any damage. So it kind of felt like Yuma had to do everything. And that also was nullified by like Crimson Guard on Beastmaster, there's Blinding Light on Kotl. So yeah, unfortunately for Nouns, there were moments of brilliance, but their draft, unless the game goes 40 minutes plus, it is so hard to fight into this wall of aggression. Like, every highlight we're looking at right now is just BB overwhelming them post second Roshan.
Is there anything they could have done to, I don't know, slow down Nightfall's or Psyche's
Gentleman's
farming?
agreement in the old chat. Don't fight us for 10 minutes, yeah.
Look,
they need a little bit more time.
It was like this inevitable bomb.
They tried, because Lelez on the Nyx was always hunting for the Alchemist, and potentially if he connected on 1 or 2 more pickoffs with Yuma on the Monkey King, that could have opened up for, Psyche needs an extra 5 minutes, 3 minutes to get that next item. But there was, if you really go back through the replay, like, Psyche was able to dodge some of these ganks, which then allowed him to, get to Radiance and Manta and Blink and AC. So it's like, with this draft, it's such high pressure on, if Nyx connects, game continues. If Nyx doesn't connect, then everyone just has to hit creeps and pray their opponent doesn't want to just, get to game 2.
Yeah, I guess you could make a case for if they were able to dodge BB's initial takeover of their map around minute 21 near their Tormentor.
Yeah.
If they dodged that and they didn't take any engagements until Yuma got his BKB, then maybe they would have had a shot because they would have been able to fight back before Invoker had a BKB, but it's impossible to know where your enemies are at all times, and it's impossible to dodge every gank. And you have to account for the enemies making a move on you and killing you a couple of times in that mid-game, and what is your failsafe? What's your plan after that? Unfortunately, it feels like in that state, 20 to 30, BB executed their draft perfectly, and they didn't really give Nouns a window to come back into the game at that point.
I also wonder, we see here GPK stat, as mentioned, he had a fantastic game, Lacoste. We knew he was going to be the one playing Invoker. We have had Nouns with the privilege of counter-picking that mid lane. They went for Razor, they put copy on that Razor in the mid lane against the Invoker. Could they have had a different, like a hindsight, could they have gone for a different hero that could have done a better